Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for staying up to this moment where we're having our yummy nuggets for the day. I hope that you savor it, all of it, because yes, I carefully selected this bit for us today. Now, understand our nuggets for today, we'll be looking at compatibility boxes that you have to tick before you say I do to your partner. The first compatibility box that I'm expecting that you check is the spiritual or the religious compatibility. So of course I'm a Christian, so I'll look in that direction. Spiritual compatibility. Are we both serving the same God? Do we have the same kind of views as far as religion is concerned? Yes, we might be going to church as Christians, but then we could belong to different denominations. We want to think about that. That's the religious aspect I'm talking about, because it does not just suffice for you to be a Christian or maybe just a Muslim. It will suffice that you pray, think about, have the same mindset about the Word of God, have the same mindset about prayers, have the same mindset about fasting, all the other religious activities, and the place of fellowship would matter a great deal. Spiritual compatibility box has to be ticked. Otherwise, you find yourself one person going left, the other person going right, because your spiritual views do not align. The next compatibility box that I always love to touch is biological or medical. This thing about love will take you go places, and then you realize that biologically, medically, you're not compatible. So you have to see, is it a man I'm getting married to for starters? Because hey, the world is crazy now. And there are people who are born biologically male and then they are now female and vice versa. And then there are people whose medical situations are not compatible. So I'm always talking about the electrophoresis test, whereby your blood groups are compatible enough, just so that tomorrow we are not going to start having kids who are sicklers and then crying for the rest of our lives because all we looked at was about the love and the butterflies. The next compatibility factor is the physical compatibility. Yes, I put it at the third position because physical compatibility matters. So that you don't get married to somebody that you cannot look at their faces, or you are not very comfortable, or you feel like you were forced into it. Somebody's physical state should be appealing enough for you to get married to them. While I do not rate that as the first, that's why I do not put it first, but it's very important. My mentor will say this: never you get married to somebody that you're not physically attracted to. We all see physical attraction differently. So they say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So be the beholder of your own relationship. Just so that if it doesn't look beautiful or appealing to other people, I was not forced into this. I saw qualities physically that I am attracted to. The next is mental compatibility, psychological or mental compatibility. I love that because, trust me, there are people who are physically as beautiful as they are, but you start engaging with them in a conversation and you realize your worlds apart. And so these other ones, you might have ticked those boxes, but the mental bit, you want to be sure. What are their thought patterns? Does it align with yours? How do they see life? What are their political views? What would they make out of a situation that comes out trendy? Do they even know how far have they come? Mental compatibility has a lot to do with education too, but again, it is more of how people have self-educated themselves, self-taught themselves. They could be on a pedestal that people who have gone to mainstream schools cannot get. So I'm talking about compatibility, meaning even if this person does not have as much education as you, that person would have the mental capacity to match whatever it is you have in your mind or your brain. Age compatibility, I'm talking about generational gap. These matters a great deal. I know some people want to get married to people who are 100 and they're just 20 or 40 and stuff. It matters a great deal because yes, generational gap would matter. Because at some point, you will be talking to Gen Zs when you are old school, or millennials might not understand Generation Alpha. These things do matter in relationship. Let's talk about temperamental compatibility. I love to talk about temperaments. You see your temperament, it matters a great deal. I hope that I get another session to talk about temperaments extensively, where we get phlegmatic, choleric, we get the sanguine, and then we get melancholic. These are the 4 different categories of temperaments that you either minor or major with one of them. But at least to know who you are so that you can know which temperament would match with yours, so that you are not either fighting all along or having a really very boring setup as far as marriage is concerned. Then we have cultural compatibility. It matters a great deal. There are some cultures that are intolerant to your own culture. You don't just want to be tied up with, oh, I'm married to this person, I love this person, but then the cultural bit is unacceptable. And still in the line of culture, understand what a family will tolerate. Some families, it's not just about their culture, they have family cultures. You should know about that. So even if you're marrying into a tribe, there's a specific family that has a culture that you might be intolerant to. You want to know all of this and tick that box, before you are saying I do to your partner. There are lots of other compatibility factors, but these would be the main ones that I think I can propose to you, just so that you're not just excited, but you're actually doing the needful, just to see that when you get married, it is thriving. My goal is always to redefine authentic relationships, build marriages, encourage people who are getting into relationships to make it and do it the right way.